Hey everyone. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the government investing a crazy amount of money into ICE. That's an oldie but a goodie. We're talking about how they're spending that money. You've got your weapons, upgrading planes, trying to poach police officers from blue cities, and at the end, maybe some resources that will help you if you're not quite a fan of ICE terrorizing your city. Trump's big beautiful bill gives ICE unprecedented funds to ramp up mass deportation campaign. So, back in July, CBS News reported that Trump's big, beautiful bill was signed into law and would help him crack down on illegal immigration. Overall, Congress decided to invest 170 billion dollars in immigration enforcement, of which about 76 billion dollars went into additional funding for ICE. Important to note that this makes ICE the highest funding law enforcement agency in the US government. So that's 45 billion dollars to expand detention centers and 30 billion dollars for funding the deportation process. That money funds things like upgrading ICE's planes, retention, and hiring. This article from July by the American Immigration Council shows a breakdown of the $170, or rather the 170 billion for immigration enforcement. That includes the aforementioned things they're funding, plus things like border wall construction, which constitutes almost 30%, a little over a quarter of their total investment. So about $47 billion for just border wall construction. All right, so now we're taking a look at a PBS report. It is ICE spends millions on ads to recruit police for mass deportation efforts from October 2025, October 6, 2025, so a little over a month ago. PBS reported that ICE is spending millions of dollars on television ads in certain areas of the country, mostly in blue cities like Portland or Chicago, and it's specifically aimed at police officers in these cities. And that's part of that $30 billion initiative to hire thousands more deportation officers by the end of 2025. Again, this is reported in early October and part of that $76 billion budget for ICE. So ICE is also offering 50,000 for new recruits, and apparently Danny Diaz, president of San Antonio's Police Officers Association, is worried that new recruits would rather take that money than get into the police force. So ICE is targeting police officers in Portland, Chicago, and other cities to make them switch up. They're offering bonuses to make it more attractive. If you can convince them that there's a problem with illegal aliens and that their police departments are doing less than what's required to solve it, then you can make that offer that includes a $50,000 signing bonus much more attractive. With that said, this president of the Police Officers Association did mention that they hadn't seen anyone jump ship yet, but we'll see what happens going into 2026. 50K is a lot of money. So I wanted to take a look at some of the more recent reporting, stuff that's been released in the last 3 weeks. One reason why I like to look at older stories and kind of wait a little bit to see how it plays out is because you can see how it plays out. You see where they invest the money. You can see that in July, they announced that they're going to invest 170 billion into immigration enforcement, 75 or 76 billion goes to ICE. And then in early October, you see that they're investing that in TV ads, right, for recruitment, specifically in blue cities and specifically aimed at law enforcement officials. Then around the same time, you can see this story here by Mother Jones on October 21st, 2025. ICE's spending on weaponry is up more than 600% over last year. The $71.5 million spent so far has paid mostly for guns, armor, and chemical munitions. So, story talks about how weapons spending has surged in 2025 compared to last year. I guess Popular Information on Substack was the first to publish the report. ICE has boosted its purchases for small arms, ordnance, and ordnance accessories by more than 600%. They've already spent more than $70 million on weapons and tactical gear. There's one little piece of this story that I've seen critics bring up, which is a line item that states that ICE has spent money on, quote, guided missile warheads. And apparently Wired has stated that that's probably a clerical error. So the CEO of this company that apparently supplied the warheads comes out and says that's a clerical error, but the rest of the payment record looks to be accurate. Anyway, they spent a bunch of money, I think 9 or 10 million, at a company called Geisel Automatics, which manufactures semi-automatic and automatic rifles. And included here is a graph that shows the crazy difference in spending between 2025 and previous years. But yeah, again, November 8th, just yesterday, ICE raided Little Village neighborhood of Chicago, and you can see a lot of this tactical gear and these weapons in action there. So once again, they are defying court orders. They keep using excessive force. They keep using tear gas canisters. They're pointing their rifles at journalists. They're pointing handguns out of the car as they drive by. There are clips of this. I included some of those in a video I did a couple of days ago. You can find them all over Reddit. So we will see what happens. We will just have to wait for someone to actually make them follow the law. And I haven't done a video on this. I've been meaning to, but honestly, as you can tell, I'm fairly new at making these and just started a couple of days ago. But this whole SNAP thing, government shutdown, I mean, you have billions of dollars put aside for ICE to go into cities. Nobody wants them there, right? No one in Chicago really wants ICE in Chicago. There aren't a lot of people around that say, hey, you know what? You're actually making our neighborhoods a lot safer. This is great. I mean, you can see the turnout at these rallies that are in support of a daycare worker that gets detained inside of a daycare. But yeah, you have a lot of money being set aside for ICE, for immigration enforcement, and you could have that money go somewhere else just as easily, but they don't want to do that. I thought it would be good to throw in a really terribly made Canva infographic here that tells you the different resources that you could reach out to if you wanted to help. So one of them is the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. It's a nonprofit that help organize the community. They push for pro-immigrant policies. They provide legal and citizenship support. Another is Status Quo News, independent news, almost always on the ground with an actual reporter, someone filming. This is how I feel like independent news should actually be done. And to be honest, I just signed up for their membership like 3 days ago. But yeah, Indivisible, National Grassroots Network. They mobilize local groups. They help with putting together protests like No Kings. Of course, writing your local rep. This website here, I feel like it doesn't work that well, but you can find, I found the mayor on there, I found the governor on there, but some of the more like county officials, I feel like it's been difficult to find those folks, but more or less still works most of the time. How's that? Logan Square Mutual Aid, community-run mutual aid group in Chicago. So this is in Chicago's Logan Square neighborhood. So they help with sharing food, they share supplies, they help with financial stuff. So I thought it would be a good idea to throw in some stuff here if you feel like you're searching for a way to give back, a way to help right now. Anyway, thank you.